Hi.
Hi. Okay, so today we wanted to talk about something healing for trans people, and it's about your past. Okay?
Yep.
So, what about your past self before you started transitioning? Okay? Before you came out or whatever. Do you have to leave that self behind? Do you need to let go of everything from the past? Or can you embrace that? And does that compromise your gender identity that you're expressing right now? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, our coach brought that up in a coaching session, to help us move through our feelings of the day, and reminded us of this, which I hadn't thought about in a while, which is that, it's safe to embrace all of yourself from the past, meaning, it's because you were always expressing your true self because you can't not express
Exactly.
your true self. Yeah, because you were always whatever gender you are. I was, for example, I was always female. In terms of my soul and who I was always a girl or a woman. So I don't need to push away anything in my past, whatever it happened to be. I think, for example, you might associate things that you really liked in the years before you came out and started transitioning. You might associate those things with your previous identity. I don't know, it could be anything. I liked being out in nature and hiking a lot. Back then, that doesn't mean it was an expression of masculinity. I liked martial arts. That doesn't mean that was an expression of masculinity. I liked studying a lot and learning tons of shit, whether it was important or not for my life. And that's definitely not an expression of masculinity per se. It's just a thing,
And you've always loved video games.
Video games, yeah, and I think that's a super common thing with trans women and also trans men too. There are a lot of trans men too who are oh, I'm into this thing or that thing. I was really into this thing before I transitioned. It could be anything, and then you're just oh, I have to cut that part of myself off now, and it can happen subconsciously, but you don't have to do that.
Yeah, because maybe you're thinking oh, since I did that before my transition, that's maybe for me oh, that's not masculine, or that's not what a man does, or if you're a trans woman, maybe feeling or thinking that way. But the truth is, no matter what, you have always been expressing you. You can't change that. You've always been expressing your true self, your authentic self, your true gender. However you expressed and express yourself, that's you, and that's how you express yourself as a man or a woman, and that's perfect. There's nothing to change about that. And I was feeling into this today, and I remember being little and feeling so much joy when I was just playing and expressing myself. And I mean, for me, a lot of the time that was when I'd be out in nature and just playing outside basically, and going on little adventures outside. I always felt so much joy in that, but you don't have to leave parts of you behind, because maybe you're just judging those parts of yourself, thinking oh, that was feminine or masculine. But no, I mean, if you look at it and if you feel into it and feel your feelings about it, it's just you were just expressing yourself, and that's you, and you've always been you. So whatever gender you are, that's the expression of your gender.
Yeah.
I've always expressed myself as a man, no matter what I've looked out on the outside. And Sage, she's always expressed herself as a woman, no matter what she looked like on the outside or was experiencing.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a beautiful thing, because that's one of the ways when you're exploring yourself that you get to know who you are, because
Yeah.
it's like yeah, you just come to a place of acceptance of yourself in these places for who you are and how you express yourself. And yeah, it just helps you to embrace all of yourself and see that you've always been whole, you've always been I don't know, you know, and
Yeah.
whatever gender that is, you know. Yeah, like when I think back on some of the memories I have as a kid, from my childhood, I can feel and see that I was always expressing myself, you know, as a boy, and yeah, that's a beautiful thing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel that too. Like if I look back at my life and I feel into it, like
Mm-hmm.
I access the feelings of all of those past things, however you say that. I feel that too. I was always a girl, I was always expressing femininity, but, you know, and it didn't matter what I was doing or what I was even wearing. It's like your expression is not an external thing, right?
Exactly.
It's an internal thing that comes through anything
Mm-hmm.
on the external.
Yeah.
And so, in knowing that, it makes you a lot more confident, and it's a lot just choosing to acknowledge that and accept that if that feels good to you, if that resonates with you and you find that to be true, is really, really relieving, because then you don't have to be like, it's really hard if you feel like you have to cut off part of yourself, like from the past.
Yeah, I
quote
feel like it would
unquote.
just be like judging yourself,
Yeah,
you know,
it's just
for just
judging.
being yourself, and you can let that go. And also, it's important to let go of like what society deems as masculine and feminine too, because that can also just lead to judgment or yeah, like feeling like you can't be yourself fully because yeah, because of like what society would tell you how to be.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, it's important to just be true to yourself and to let go of any of that, and to notice that, like when it's coming up, like you could, like, why am I feeling, you know, like not quite right about my, I don't know, like myself, or my identity, or like how to explain it. Like if you feel like you're not fully accepting yourself, that might be why, right? Because you're trying to like cut off past
Yeah.
things from the past, which don't really have a time. It's just an aspect of you or something that you enjoy, you know, and it doesn't really affect like who you are. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Well, we hope this helps you. If you've watched it, like and subscribe, and feel free to reach out to us. And we'll see you in the next one.
All right, bye.
Bye.
See you.